know I'm not the only person that feels this way. I would just need to hear somebody else say it so you know they're not crazy.
Black Sun.
We love them.
Soon as we step on the mic, man, you know it's a difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday, 8 through 10, all the bad vibes at the top. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Casual combos, baby, come down and sit with me. Look, Coco be spitting that remedy. Casual combos, baby, come down and sit with me. You better take this shit serious. She dropping knowledge on head and it's free for the play. Tap it right now if you're curious. We got the ham radio going lit every day. We go from people to family to pilots. Stay with me if you got something to say. Know it's important if we go acknowledge. Speak on the business and get out the way. What you gonna say about my mama? She running you, rockhead. Keep all that irking shit down to a minimum, blockhead. Baby, I'm sorry if this got too hectic. I'm from the 410, I get aggressive. Just have to make sure that you get a message. Yeah. Hello. We have the conversations about life, current topics that affect communities, personal and business relationships. We have the casual convo so you don't have to have the tough one. Thank you for your time. Let's go! Soon as we step on the mic, man, you know it's a difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday, 8 through 10, all the bad vibes at the top. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Casual combos, baby, come down and sit with me. Look, Coco be spitting that remedy. Casual combos, baby, come down and sit with me. I'm with Lil Coco, we gon' partner. I just saw my flow, I'm gon' partner. I'm with Lil Coco, she gon' partner. I just found that flow, I'm gon' partner. I'm with Lil CC, I'm with Lil CC. You can't make that green, you can't come with me. I'm with Lil CC, yeah, I'm with Lil CC, yeah. I'm with Lil CC, I'm with Lil CC, I'm with Lil CC, I'm with Lil CC. You can't make that green, you can't come with me. I'm with Lil CC, yeah, I'm with Lil CC, yeah.
Welcome to the Casual Convo show with me, Coco, where we have conversations about topics that affect the community's personal and business relationships. We always have the casual convo, so you don't have to have that tough convo. And today, I have, who you want me to call you? It's up to you. Who you want me to call you? Niclole. That's who is with me today in the good studio. What's going on with you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm here. Well, this heat been disrespectful today here in Baltimore. That's that COVID-19. We going through a pandemic heat that we got going on. Yeah. So today we're going to be discussing professionalism. But before we start, the reason why we're going to discuss, well, you're the perfect person, Miss Businesswoman. So you can. What's your business?
I am the owner of uniq LLC, which is a brand which carries two businesses right now. We have uniq meals, of course, going on 2 years, and then we have up and coming uniq fit for men and uniq fit for women.
Okay, that's it. What's your plug? You can find her on Instagram at uniq LLC.
Yes.
And she's trying to be shy right now. So anyway, professionalism. In businesses, we always talk about how important it is to be professional and how you represent your business in your business and outside your business. So we want to discuss a few things. So, I always go, like Rich be telling me to go to my local Google and get some stuff. So your local Google said professionalism is a skill, good judgment, and polite behavior that is expected from a person who is trained to do a job well. An individual adherence to a set standard code of conduct or a collection of qualities that characterize accepted practices. What, in your opinion, what's professionalism?
Professionalism to me is, number one, you're going to treat a person how you would want to be treated. You have to understand the role. So if you're doing business with someone, how you will want a business owner to treat you is how you should treat someone else. It's called service. I mean, you should always give the best service. And when they say professionalism, meaning courtesy, understanding, compassion, respect is number one.
Y'all ain't gonna tell y'all what I just did. I agree. I'm sorry, the chair went down. Too low.
It's all right.
We live. Look, things happen, and if you hear me with a little giggle, just know something just transpired. I don't even want to tell my definition because it's about you right now. So we're going to discuss some characteristics of professionalism. The first one, commitment and confidence.
I agree. Being committed to what you say.
What? You say what I say. I need something.
No, not you. Oh. Specifically, Chantel.
Like what? Committed to what? What would you consider? If I look at it, I would say commitment and confidence. Like, I think I posted something the other day. Everybody wants to be bosses, right? But lack a lot to be a boss. Resources, skills, common freaking sense. Common sense a lot of people don't have. A lot of people. And it takes a lot of common sense to function in business and understand. But also, the commitment should be to what is your goal, what is the experience that your customers or clients going to have with you. You have to commit to whatever the goal is, whatever your mission is for your business. Right. Like your mission statement or things like that. So, and you have to do that confidently, because if you don't believe in what your goal is for your business, it's kind of pointless. Okay. And some people just think, oh, I'm going to get in business, and because they want to make money, but don't have a freaking clue about
that was your ringtone.
I'm sorry, yo. You must say no. What's going on? But if you're not confident in what you're delivering and what you're providing and your services, it's not going to be successful. And it's like people don't understand that. Like, you got to figure out what your projection is as far as what you want or where you want it to go.
I agree. Sometimes I believe that when you look at businesses, 9 times out of 10, a few of us are doing the same thing. And I don't believe it's always the product. I believe it's the experience with the actual business that brings your customer back. I mean, how many fitness gurus is it out here? And how many chefs is it out here? But the experience that they have with you is what brings them back. You understand?
Yeah.
Are you hot flashing?
So I agree with that. But even with the same, I think a lot of people, like, let's say like you cook and you meal prep, you help people meet their weight goals, whether it's weight loss or weight gain. I can cook, but at the end of the day, I can't be like, oh, this is going to be my business and try to do the same thing, but I don't have a whole point of what I'm doing it for. I don't have a passion for it. And I think a lot of times people get into businesses because they see somebody else doing it and it may be lucrative for them and they expect the same, lucrative outcome, but it's not like that. So even if you want to do the same thing, or you may have a passion for it, try to make it a little bit different. I think what we miss is the unique part. We can all do the same thing, but what's your point in doing it? Like, right. What are you committing to other than trying to make a coin?
That's true. I mean, it's a reason why people have a passion. Like, it started from somewhere, and then I believe that it also started with you first. Mm-hmm. You being the experience of the passion. Mm-hmm. Now you're ready to deliver it to someone else to try and help them in a way that it helped you. So when you say, even though it may be meal prepping for me, it's not always just the meal prep for me. It's the experience that I have with the customer that leads up to the meal prepping. It's the trying to figure out how I can relate to what caused them to be in the situation that they're in as far as weight gain.
I had my consultation.
How can I be compassionate?
In my business.
But you understand.
What is your goal?
But you understand, I did. I tapped into some things that was personal to you that you wanted to reach.
Right.
While we were reaching the main goal of why you chose me to do what I do, right? Mm-hmm. And that's just all about holding accountability, right? Mm-hmm. Not just in one area, but showing that I care in all areas as a business owner and as unique food. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? Because it's a mind thing. It's all about the mind. It's your thought. It's your thought process. So I felt like if I can tap into your thought process and try to understand where you're coming from, then we can get to the common goal of why you hired me to do what I'm doing.
Right.
What is wrong? What is in your coffee?
Nothing.
It
was a little loose. You was so good. I was following you. You was trying to get this together with the practical. But you're right. That's why I was saying it's different. See, you love what you do, and somebody can say, "Oh, I want to do this." Now let's keep it all the way 100. Mm-hmm. We could do something, and how many people can you? And they try to do what you do, and don't understand what it takes to do what you do. You get what I'm saying? That's what I mean. Like, people want to do like the copycat thing, but if you're not going to commit to it. Because even if it's not making anything in the beginning, you don't know what the outcome could be. And I think that's where the commitment, you got to commit to your business but at the same time, you got to be professional. Yeah. You can't.
You got to love people. That's just how I look at it. And I don't mean like love them individually, like that you have to love to be able to be around people and talk to people and kind of understand, not just be one-sided and one-minded.
What about responsibility and dependability? What's your thoughts on it as far as professionalism goes?
Gotta be responsible, very responsible. You gotta hold your own.
Can you elaborate?
Hold your own.
Can you elaborate?
What's that one?
Both. Like both. She's trying to be a little quick. Elaborate, man. You gotta stop telling people.
Being responsible.
There's a lot of non-professional people out here. You have, in places.
You have to be responsible. You have to hold yourself accountable. Hold your own, and when I mean hold your own, I mean be able to stand up on your own and not have to worry about somebody else holding you up or somebody else telling you to do this and do that. Like, be able to stand and hold on your own, stand your ground of whatever your vision is and whatever your goal is, that you'll be able to push forth. That's being responsible. What did you say?
Dependability.
Sorry.
What does that mean to you? Well, it's professionalism.
Man, just being dependable and stuff. I mean, it's hard to really elaborate.
I feel like the commitment and the dependability kind of not the same, but I would exactly, because if you're gonna commit, I know I can depend on you to deliver. Like, I can be guilty of it sometimes, because I mean, life happens, granted, but I think when it comes to being committed and dependable, if we agree, or if we set something, like for instance, if we say, okay, Nicole, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. I'm going to depend on you to be committed to what I got going on. Mm-hmm. You get what I mean? And as soon as that is gone, you kind of lose faith. Did that make sense? Because I felt like I missed something.
You did.
When I said something. So, all right. For instance, like, it's loose. So it's like, when you have, all right. Okay. So let's say if you say, Coco, I need a painting because I need to put it up because I'm gonna open this thing on so and so date. I need X, Y, Z paintings. I need these colors. Boom. You're depending on me to get them to you in that time. And if I agree on that time frame, or to have exactly what you want to you by that time, you're dependent on me to do that. So if I can't do that, and I don't communicate that with you in the beginning, that's not professional.
Right. That's where the responsibility comes in at.
But it's also dependability too, because exactly. You're holding me responsible, yes, because I'm responsible for getting there, but your customers, your clients depend on you. And if they can't depend on you, you lose out because you lose customers.
I understand. You're right.
That word of mouth.
They should depend on you the moment that they sit down in that seat and have a consultation. Mm-hmm. They depend on you to. You got to think like having a passion it's like changing lives. Does that make sense? They depend on you to change their life in some way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like your painting could be they depend on your vision to change their life in some aspect. Because some people like painting for what reason? What did you say? What reason they like painting? It brings something out in their house or something you was telling me.
It's different. For me, for the experience with mine, it's a sense of calm and a sense of peace. Because it's soft, it's abstract, different things. Some people like portrait painting because it's more meaningful. It all depends on what you want it for. But a lot of people can draw, but there's no meaning behind their drawing. A lot of people can paint, but you don't feel nothing when you look at it. So the same thing. People want, I can do this, so boom, I'm gonna do that, and just you can sell out. But if the person who's admiring it every day don't feel anything, you're not going to get nothing from it. So I don't only like to paint in my emotions. For me, or I have to really have it. I can't just be like, you can't be like, all right, give me one. And I'm like, all right, got you them all. No. Okay, I need to get myself in a frame of mind. I need to make sure I have the time. And I think that's where the honesty and ethics come from. You have to be realistic, right, with your clientele at all times about expectations. Somebody can be like, I want an 18-footer and I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that. Ma'am, sir, no, can't do it. I'm not the person for you. And sometimes we take on things, the money might look right, but that's not the point. It's going to take away from the value of your product. Right. So I think, and a lot of times we get into this frame of mind where the money, and we lose all of these things. We lose the commitment, the confidence, the responsibility, dependability. All you want is the deposit and the outcome.
I'm trying to go live on Facebook. I've never went live before.
So that's the whole thing about that part. And then it is some qualities of professionalism. Like, because you had people working with you, right? Sometimes.
Yes.
And one thing, so this part we're going to talk about people, not necessarily the owner. We're going to get to the owner later. The ability to learn. How important is that?
The ability to learn as far as a skill?
Anything.
I mean, you gotta know what you're doing.
Everybody don't. And see, that's one thing I think I told Rich that I really like that he does. He doesn't, everybody don't come in knowing. And I think that's one thing a lot of businesses and small businesses go wrong. you won't take the time because somebody had to take the time. You learn at some point in time. So people not going to come in the door just knowing what to do. But I think they have to be willing and open-minded enough to learn.
I think you have to be teachable. Because not everybody is teachable. And this is not stepping on anybody's toes at all. And when I say teachable is if you really want to be able to be a owner or a boss or even just in the regular 9-to-5 world or have some type of title, you have to be teachable. That means that you have to put your pride, your ego, being all of that self-centered stuff, you have to put that to the side so that somebody can pour into you and be able to teach you something so you can grow, like really. And sometimes you have to learn to be able to go back to an entry-level position and learn something so that you can get to where you're trying to go. And a lot of people have a problem with someone else telling them what to do. Sure. Does that make sense? Especially age. You have age or you have, and I'll say that for myself.
Yeah, I think delivery. Even with people being teachable, the person has to know how to teach. Everybody doesn't know how. And I think when you want to have a business and have staff employees, you have to have a certain level of, you got to get out your own head, and you have to know how to teach, and you have to know the person you're teaching. Everybody don't learn the same way. And when we say teachable, if the person can be teachable, you may not just be getting how they learn, and we take away from that. And even in training, how many times have we trained people? You don't train two people the same way,
right?
You know, and when people don't understand that part.
When I say teachable, meaning I could give a test and you only pass on one area of the test. But as I begin to explain the other areas that you did not pass, and you begin to repeat exactly what I said, you're teachable because you understood just exactly what I said. That would make me want to hire you only because I know that I can get through to you to teach you something. You got to be able to be teachable. And like she said, that is true. You got to be, it's a delivery as well. Everybody's not able to teach for real. It's not.
Some people don't. One thing you gotta have, I think, on both sides is patience. If you don't have patience, don't have your business. Because a lot of people have businesses but lack patience and common sense. Again, even like how you just said, like a person, like for me, I'm not good with tests. I can know it. But when you test me, I'm blank. But when we talking, got you. I'm sorry. But sometimes, depending on the area of the business, that's not always the case of teaching. You get what I mean? Sometimes you got to have a conversation with the person. Like, I probably can't always go back and just, depending on the volume. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, you got to know the person or you got to ask questions. And I think sometimes we expect people to come in and it's like a do as I say.
Yeah.
And that's true to a degree, but also in order for a person to do what you say, you got to be able to deliver it to them in a way they can understand.
Right. And
that's what a lot of people miss. And even, like I said, your business life, your personal life kind of coincide because how you carry yourself gives an idea of how you are in business.
Right.
So if I say in my personal life to somebody, they're like, I don't understand it. And then instead of me getting frustrated, I try to explain it to you. You can get frustrated with me. I got to know when to pull back. And be like, okay, we can revisit this, and maybe you don't, and that's the same on the end when the ability to learn. That's what I mean, because some people will get frustrated and think it's your fault. Okay, you did not just tell me you don't understand it. How can I help you get it? And that's the question a lot of people don't ask, even in the corporate world. I see it every day. Trying to train people or listening to people train people, and they get this not going to work. This is not for them. And I'm like, well, what did you say? Did you ask how do you learn? That's a key question before you even attempt to train anybody. How do you learn?
I think, you know how people give a skills test? I think the skills, I'm going to start doing that when it's time for me to hire, is give a test. But it will definitely not be a test where it's pass or fail. I need to know where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are. Does that make sense? Because when I find out what your strengths are, I'm human and flawed too. I may be weak in that area. Just because I'm hiring you doesn't mean that you can't teach me nothing either. Does that make sense? I feel like people feel like they can't learn from people that are on an entry level position, because that's definitely not true. I do feel like when I am ready, which is soon, I can't wait to talk to you about that, about the people that are coming on board. But anyway, I'm able to learn something from them. I have adaptability. For instance, what you mean? Because you just threw me off.
No, I'm just saying because that's like kind of adapting. A lot of people can't adapt to change.
Right. Well, it's a team though, right?
I mean, it could be a one-on-one. Like, for instance, let's say you, because I know you, and I know you want to help, and you're like, I'm gonna teach them because you just never know. They could be the next Gordon Ramsay or whatever. Chantal, you just never know. You don't know. And then you'll be with the person, and you'll be working your time, and then you'll call me. I don't know. And then I'll be like, well, have you tried? And then you might have that person and be like, I just don't get it. You have people like that because they get frustrated with themselves instead of just saying, I need a little bit more. I'm not getting it that way. Can we try another way? Some people don't even know how they learn.
Right.
So I think sometimes when you're in certain positions, you have to be able to adapt and shift, but that person has to also adapt with change because nothing stays the same. You could change. Okay, we did it this way last month, but now I need to do it this way. And the person like, well, I like the other way.
That's what we'll go with.
The other way.
If it's a way that is conducive for them and it's not going to affect the business, then by all means, I will allow that. That's allowing me to adapt to change. And what I mean by saying that is, for example, I may cut potatoes one way, okay, and teaching them the way that I would like them to be cut, and they can't get to to doing it that way. But then I see how they do something another way, but it's fine. It's not hurting anything. The business can still proceed on without it being affected. Does that make sense? Because I mean, everybody can't do things your way. You know what I mean? And that's called understanding.
I'm talking about like operational. Because I could come. All right, let's just. Rich, can I use an example with the station? So let's say I come in the studio, which like, all right, we gonna have to push everything back. You ain't going on at 8. We gonna push it back to 9. And this person gonna go on there. I have to adapt to that.
Yeah.
You give it. This not mine. And I think sometimes we can maneuver, but we can't maneuver a whole lot.
True.
So sometimes you can discuss things, but operations change even no matter what you do in life. You always got to be true to yourself. But I think that would take me into the communication.
True.
Like how do both communicate? If you can't communicate, all of that's going to fail.
What's communication to you?
Professionally,
however you want to describe it.
Professionally, because we on professionalism.
You can still be professional in your personal life.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But more so, but my delivery is different. I think in my personal, I'm still respectful, but certain words might not use if I'm gonna be a buck. Okay, but professionally, if I'm working with you and I don't get something or something is just not going right, instead of me not saying something, I could mess up your whole thing. So if something is going wrong and you're stuck and if I'm not producing the way that I should, I need to. can we talk? Yeah. And I need to tell you where I'm lacking. Or if I'm not happy with something, I can sit you down and talk to you about it. But I can't be like, look, this not, no. You're going to be like, oh, what? You can't go at stuff like that. Sure. I'm going to be like, hey, when you get a minute, can we talk? And I talk like that anyway. Yeah. Like, we need to talk. Not right now, when you guys, I don't know what type of day you have, and I don't know what your vibe giving. Mm-hmm. But whenever you get a minute, I do that every day at work, and they hate it.
You do that with me too.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's why I said I know a lot of people don't know how to communicate or be professional. And I had this conversation with somebody. Me and Jude had this conversation. Confrontation is not always a rah-rah situation. People always say, oh, I'm not confrontational. And I've seen non-confrontational people, because some people think confrontation is always a battle. You're not. It takes a lot for you to be, but confrontation to me is addressing the issue. That's confrontation, where I'm confronting the issue. Mm-hmm. We can be civil. I'm going to hear you out. You can hear me out. But we got to respect each other's views, right? And you meet in the middle. Mm-hmm. Confrontation is not always a battle. If you going back and forth, that's an argument. That's not me. I'm confronting you because now we got a problem.
Do you think confrontation will have everything to do with a tone? Because you can go back and forth and still be communicating, trying to understand the other person's side, where the tone and the volume makes it confrontational. Does that make sense? Because suppose you don't agree with something.
I'm gonna answer you honestly, because another conversation I had with that damn Jew is sometimes when I'm passionate, mm-hmm. or if I'm serious about something, I'm not always like, oh my God, my delivery, because I want you to hear me. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when you're very soft and like, okay, people don't hear you and they don't take you seriously. So, but people confuse that with you being aggressive, mm-hmm. or you're being intimidating. I'm not being intimidating. I just want you to, I'm hearing you.
Right.
But some people don't understand. If your tone is just, okay, I know we serious. This is a serious conversation. Mm-hmm. Like if I come in here and Rich like, now I know when he be like, what's up, Coco? Da, 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 da. Okay, be good. When he be like, when you get a minute, I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, you know what I mean? But it's not in a bad way. It's okay. I know he's serious about this conversation. Right. The same way anybody else. But I think sometimes, because it's not what we want to hear in that moment, sometimes we can take it the wrong way. Right. But in that aspect, if that's what you're thinking, mm-hmm. and I tell everybody all the time, let me know if it's off, because I know sometimes I can get too passionate. So you got to know yourself, right. too, and be able to accept when somebody tell you, can you pipe down a little bit, because you giving off some bad jujus over here.
That's you.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'll be like, oh, damn, my bad. Because I'm going to tell you how, if I meant for it to come out that way, yes. And I'm glad you received it that way. But if I didn't, I'm always going to own it and be apologetic. Because mm-hmm. if I didn't mean to offend you in that way. Okay. And I think ownership and communication plays a big part. Sure. But even with being a delegator in a situation.
Explain that one again.
Take ownership and accountability. Of you're wrong. If I offended you, even my tone now, somebody can be like, "Shut up." No, seriously. But in my mind, I'm like, damn, I ain't mean to come up. And I tell you that all the time. I ain't even mean it like that. But if I'm like, but then you got some people that will play with you because you're soft spoken, because you're not direct. And people confuse being direct and being honest and upfront with an attitude. That's not it. Right. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm not sugarcoating. Right. Everything can't be sugarcoated. Mm-hmm. And you can still be professional. You don't have to be, no, but in certain situations, you have to hear the person out. Mm-hmm. And I tell you that all the time. You gotta know when it's This ain't the time where I gotta say something. I just need to listen.
Yeah.
And it may be because I'm learning something about myself, and you gotta know when to turn it off and when to turn it on.
Exactly.
And I still work on it.
I think we talked about that the other day, where what was we talking about? Communication. Clear. Yeah, we were talking about communication, and we were talking about we were saying communication is me saying something to you.
She's trying to make me say something.
Dude.
I was saying though, wait one second.
So remember, we were talking about communication is something that I say to you, you say to me, and confronting is something that I'm confessing to myself. So if we're having a communication 9 times out of 10, there's some type of something I'm about to get out of this conversation. Do you believe that that's true in professionalism as well?
Say that one more time.
Like if I'm having a conversation with my client, right? Conversations is something that I'm having something with them. They're having something with me. But also, I should be getting something out of this conversation. You understand what I'm saying?
As far as what? Because I want to make sure I answer
dealing
correctly.
With that. Okay, so for instance, meal prepping. Just through conversation, what do you think that I'm going to get out of the conversation with meal prepping? Besides just wanting to know about the person's fitness goals. I'm going to start learning things about them just by conversation.
Like their likes, their dislikes,
their insecurities, their
how do you get them to be responsible to keep up with the plan. I know, like for me, I play a lot, and that's what a lot of people, unless you really get to know me, you'll understand. I'm a big goofball.
Too much.
Yeah, I do. I play all day. But before I finish that answer, if you want to call in and chime in and give your thoughts, you can call 410-598-4242. But to answer your question, I'm gonna just use myself because it took that for you to sit me down and actually go through it. Because I was like, look, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna lose it and I'm gonna wear me a crap set.
Yeah, you did.
And you was like, no. We're going to do this the right way.
Why when I talk like that, you don't have a problem with it, but everybody else feel like I be trying to be smart, and I really don't be.
No, I know you, and that's how I know when it's like, okay, I'm tired of playing with her, because that's how I take it when you be like, all right, whatever, all right, that means she ain't serious. And then I think we had a conversation. I'm not going to go into details what that conversation was. It was personal, and I think a couple of days later, I was like, I'm sick of this. And he was like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to meet up. We're going to schedule a meeting. What day are you free? I said, is she bossing up on me? And he was like, yes, I'm sick of you. And we met up, and you literally it was like, okay. And I'm like, oh, she got a little pad and everything. You was professional. But I liked it, and it made me, I was like, oh, man, it's a good thing. Because, no, that's how you know when somebody is serious about what they, and you said it to me before. Even when they come down to this. And it's like, you being professional? That's why I say it's different communication sometimes and delivery. When it's your passion and what you want, you're going to take it seriously. So when you sat me down and went through all of that stuff, I was like, oh, you getting a little personal.
What did I say? What was the question for now?
So, that's how you were saying. You was like, so, you ready? You sure? Just go ahead, because just go get that oil out, because once this start, we going to start. It's not just about, first of all, let me explain this to you.
Why she lying?
That's how the conversation went. I'm going to tell y'all how the conversation went. And he was like, okay, so let me just explain. I understand you want to leave. I understand, friend. I do. I get it. But it's more than just eating and, exercise. It's your whole lifestyle has to change. So we're going to start with, you got the sections of, give me 3 goals other than, you want to lose. What's your other goals? What are those? I said, look at my little friend. That shit's going off. Go ahead, friend. And you was like,
gotta bring her down some when she be.
She
really do. She be so excited.
It worked though. You sent me the stuff that I believed it. And then you're like, what are you doing? What did you have? Okay. So you went, I think it was like 5 different sections. I know it was the goals. It was like, who are the most important people to you? It was like, because you don't just live for you. You live for them. I was like, damn, she became a motivational speaker about everything all in one, but it was a good experience. So it's like, okay, I can see the consult. That's just the consultation. So it made me be like, oh yeah, I'm about to be skinny as a motherfucker coming up. That's how I was. Girl, that's how I left that meeting. Girl, you can't tell me nothing. Girl, and then I could talk to somebody and be like, you remember down? I tell them all Drew to tell you. The first thing I say, don't do me, because I will come in here with every shirt tied up, thinking I'm skinny and I ain't there yet. What? That was it. All right, what about integrity?
Man. Why you have all of these questions?
That's why you here. I'm trying to be like you. I'm trying to have multiple.
No, I just care about people for real.
Well, she'd be like, no, don't look at it like that. You have to have residual income.
And why do I tell you have to have that?
I don't know, I be forgetting because you be telling me when I be drinking.
You said what? You always be drinking when I talk to you? I don't lie. That's why we got to start having more face-to-face. You see what I'm saying, Rich? I be on the phone with her and then
my vitamin D is flowing. You know that.
I see why. Exactly. Wow. You get on my nerves. I know that.
I just listen and I just start doing it.
No, but integrity is very important.
Why?
Can't be out here. You can't be out here lying, falsifying, and doing all types of stuff. You can't, man. You got to be honest,
right?
You got to be real. And a lot of people have a hard time doing that. They put on this.
I think if you don't have integrity, you don't have nothing. You just lame. Honestly, what? Because your integrity cannot cannot be bought. That's something you can't buy.
Right.
And I stand tall on that. If you don't stand for, you gotta stand for something, or you don't stand for nothing. Right. And like I said, when we go back to monetary, everybody look at the value of $1. So that's what you're gonna lose your integrity to make some money. That to tarnish your brand or tarnish your name. And people use that to brand. You ain't got. Can you go? Because I was going to say something.
But see, that's the problem. It's the thought process, you know.
It is.
And we talk about this all the time.
We do, but
it is definitely the thought process. Like we can't.
I'm
you
so
just
sick
said
of
it.
Boss. I'm a boss. What does it mean? What?
Well, some people do think that.
What?
Well, I can't speak for other people though. I really don't even call myself a boss. I just started something. That's I planted a seed.
They be like, what you do? I be doing stuff. What? That's what I say. I do.
So would you rather be called? Would you rather be called a boss or entrepreneur?
I just rather be called
Chanel
or Coco.
Yeah. That's it. Okay, so when people start talking to you and getting to know you, and you start letting them in and start telling them about things,
how soon is that?
What happened?
How soon is that? What kind of people we talking about?
With anybody.
Oh, I'll be telling people everything when I first meet them. Oh, you not working? Or I'm just talking to people. You know, I listen first. I gotta fill people out.
When a person asks you, who are you? Right, you understand what I'm saying?
No, that's what I do.
But some people
and
do come out and be like, I'm a boss.
How much time you got to talk? Because I'm the truth. What you want out?
Well, what's your definition of a boss then?
I honestly don't like the term boss.
Why?
I don't. What'd you say? I don't like the word boss. But if we look at, and I don't like when people are like, oh, that's my boss. That's this. Well, I might joke and be like, boss man. I do that the rest all the time. But if you want to use the term boss, A boss is a person that has a mindset, that has integrity, that has their brand, that's flourishing, that's committed. All of these things that has determination in their business. They're actually doing something that's beneficial, that's not just to themselves. And a person, I consider Rich a boss. I consider you a boss. Because y'all do things, it's not selfishly done. To me, if you being selfish, and that's not a boss to me. You just a mess. But because everything shouldn't just only. I like to see people give back and not be selfish. Right. If that makes sense.
That's true.
So if you have a business and it's like, oh, I'm a this and the third, but then soon as somebody come to you or the same community that's pouring into your business, mm-hmm. and you like F them, you're not a boss to me. Or you want to look down on them, you're not a boss to me. If you're a person that gotta try to floss all the time because you got a couple dollars, you're not a boss to me. You just a show off. That's not a boss. You know when a boss in the room. You ever walk in and see? I'ma just use guys for example, because that's what we look at for example. You ever go somewhere?
Your side eyed you like what? Like I'm not in the room.
No shade, Rich. I'm just saying you ever.
He side eyed like where's she about to go with this? Because
no, I'm because okay, Rich. Let's just say we're gonna use women in your case. Same scenario. So you ever go somewhere? It could be Target, and you see somebody and their presence, you be like, hey. But and then you find out this, you don't even know, but the demeanor of the person is just screams. They're not even doing nothing. Their whole demeanor, is it the energy? The energy as well. Okay. And you see it. Mm-hmm. And then you got somebody that try to make you see it. They're not pushing it in your face. They can just walk in the room and it's like, oh, okay, all right. To me, that's that.
So do you believe that you can know how a person thinks by watching them interact with other individuals?
How they think?
Yes, because if I sit down with you, if you and I sit down in a group and I watch how you interact with other people and I watch how you conduct business and I watch how you carry yourself and the things that you say, that lets me know exactly what your thought process is sometimes. I can say that. I mean, because I pay attention to you.
Me? What I do?
I'm just saying. Someone told me that before. Like, oh, okay. I can see how you think. Because I watch how you interact with your staff or I watch how you interact with other people that's outside of work or whatever. That lets me know that, your thought process is a little bit different.
Do you think people can misread sometimes?
Based on their own thinking. You side-eye, yo.
What's going on here?
You selfish. You didn't ask about one question.
Do you think people can misread you? Even with that, because I look at it like...
You think people misread me?
Yeah, I do.
Tell me why.
Why people misread you?
What do you think they misread? Because you know me. You know me for how long now? Man, I was 18. Yo was like, Dang, should I try to call you old?
My professional answer is, you said how they misread you for us professionally?
Because you say that to me. You have said that to me a couple times. You said that to me and even in my personal life. Like, man, they just don't even know you for real. And I just be like, oh, why do you say that? I ask a lot of questions.
I think professionally, people, I think they misread you for how serious you are about it. Different things you have to put your business out there certain ways.
Right.
And you know me, I always be like, do the result or, do whatever. So when people see you, they might be like, oh, this is then the third. Mm-hmm. And they One, I don't think they sometimes don't take you seriously.
Why?
Or they may think you bougie, or a lot of people just be like try to get
Did
on.
you just say that word again?
I mean, you are a little bit, but it's not like what people be saying though.
I am not bougie. I just like nice things. She's not even my friend.
I am. I'm telling you the truth. People say the same thing about me.
Oh, somebody asked me who I'm talking to.
And it's like
talking to.
So it's kind of like you gotta just, I don't know. I think people don't understand what goes into what you do when you take it seriously.
Right.
Until they actually have to have a business.
Right.
The biggest misconception is, okay, you just cook the food and that's it.
Right.
Or you just paint the thing, or you just show up to the studio, hit a button, and that. No, it's other things that go into it. People don't respect the hard work, the money that you got to kick out to make stuff happen. You know, the sleepless nights to make stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
well,
I think
not
the biggest,
even the sacrifices that you have to put into this. People think that,
but you can't
money gonna fall out the sky, money gonna grow off trees. What about the sacrifice?
But you can't let that sway you professionally. And I think that's one thing. People will be like, oh, you don't work hard, because they might see you and like, oh, she's really pretty, this is and the third, not knowing I ain't been to sleep in 3 days. Right.
But that's what comes when you mastered your craft. A lot of times people, they look and see, dang, it looks like he was doing it easily, but they don't know all the hours, like you just said, all the hours that you put in behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people don't know. Is like, it takes a lot of time to really master a craft. And once you do that, to the outside world, it may seem like it's easy, but it's really not.
And behind the scenes, right? Like, it's the behind the scenes part that people don't understand that can get you so frustrated, or get you have to, like, you sacrifice your time.
Right.
You sacrifice things that you feel like you worked hard for. You have to sacrifice those things just to put into a brand and a business that's supposed to be life-changing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So somebody else is about to benefit off of something that I sacrificed. Like, I haven't been on a trip in so long, but the money that I sacrificed from that is because I'm putting it into my business, because I want to be able to help somebody else out. So now it's not just food, fitness, it's life-changing. You get what I'm saying? Because it's actually a lifestyle. It's not nothing to be playing with, for real.
Because if I don't do this before we go to break, I'm gonna get stressed out when we talk about communication. Because I'm listening to you speak. You speak very clearly.
Thank you.
So we talk about communication and speaking clearly. And precise. Do I want to say precisely? Pronunciate? Is that a word? In order for people to understand you and communicate, being able to communicate professionally is major. And people can't understand you if you can't pronunciate. Because a lot of words, and y'all know I mess up a word, but not when I'm being professional. That's why I say there's a difference. Like, I will play all day, but when it comes to certain things, no. And then you ever have somebody teach you something and then they say the wrong word and you like, it throw you off?
Like you.
But I'm talking about professionally.
Yes.
And what's your response? Do you tune them out after that?
I mean, you do that? Was that what you do?
Think about it. If I be like, Nicole, I specifically asked you not to go over none of this. Well, that gotta be just, no, that's not right. Do it over, because I specifically told you. You gonna keep listening to me?
Yeah. And when you're done, I'm gonna correct you specifically. See, I'm trying to help you get to.
No, what you supposed
to the CEO level. You can't go in the meeting saying specifically.
I don't. I know it's specific, but what I'm saying is, if you are being taught by somebody,
who you saying somebody? I said that.
I'm just saying, do you end up? Me personally, I would start to, because I'm like, you know me, I'll be like, huh, and then I know I'm like, because it throws the whole meaning of what you're saying off. Because I didn't understand not their words you didn't say it because you use several Ebonics terms, and I didn't know when we was talking about water, detail, instructions.
You pronounce stuff wrong all the time
on purpose.
No, sometimes.
What?
We just had a whole conversation about a word on our way down here.
What was it?
Canocolon.
You said it wrong. I didn't say it wrong. It's You said I got canocolon. I said, well, what is it? Ain't no O in it. I thought it was canocolon. And you was like, well, whatever. So
what I say?
Whatever. Okay, well, I got that in here. That's our only texture.
We was talking about hair.
But
you knew what I was talking about, so you wouldn't have tuned me out after that, right?
But no, that's not professional. Now, if you're teaching me how to cook or how to meal prep, and you like, you gotta be real specific with the potatoes, and then you gotta go over here with the shrooms, and you're gonna throw me off.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna be like, what is she cooking?
What I said.
What is that?
Potatoes and shrooms.
You gonna cook stuff in the ocean? See, enunciate.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You know, it's funny because people always, people talk about my kids and how they talk. And I remember when, what was it? Zion was being picked on in school that time, and he came and told you about how they was talking about how he talked, and you was like, no, tell them that you pronounce your words correctly.
No, I told him, tell them,
no,
don't be mad because he's educated.
Yes, you did.
And he can speak.
I'm sorry, Mom told him.
Because my children went through the same thing. Now, I might talk a little
What did you tell him?
No, you educated. Tell him I said, call me. I don't have a problem.
Right. Nobody told you to say the extra stuff. It's just, I'm saying that,
like that with the kids. Because people
feel
are
like that.
Especially in our community, a person who can speak clearly and enunciate their words are always made fun of, or is projected as talking Caucasian, so to speak. Why can't it just be like, this is just how I talk? You get what I mean? Everybody don't be like, ew. See how you looked at me? It's a difference in how you speak in the streets and how you speak in your work environment. Like, even if we like cut up,
some people may feel like that you're taking that away from them as them being who they are.
Cool.
I'm just saying. Cool. I've had people at my job who someone was told that about, them talking like they from the streets or whatever, and while talking, and they were just like, well, that's just who I am. You know what I mean? And I was just like, oh, okay.
Accountability.
Well, I didn't say that.
Didn't we talk about accountability?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you can't be held accountable and take constructive criticism, you're going to be stagnant.
Right. Do you take constructive criticism only to people that you trust, or would you take constructive criticism from people at your job if they're trying to help you, though, right?
I take constructive criticism from anybody, especially strangers.
Okay.
And especially like my patients.
Okay.
Because they're looking at me. This is who I'm servicing. And if I'm displaying certain behaviors from somebody who don't know me, this is how I'm representing myself. And this is what you see. I can't tell you that ain't what you see, what you heard. If I was being that in a moment, I'm like, damn, I need to go back and reflect and get that together.
You say constructive criticism a lot, and I know you told me through conversation just the other day that I need to learn who I allow to criticize me. So when you just said that, that's why I was just like, well, you just said that you take constructive criticism from everybody.
It's a difference in manipulation and constructive criticism. But if we can get back into that, because some people can manipulate you in professionalism, and that is actually coming up after we come back from this break. So we're going to continue to talk about professionalism, and the difference is when to take that constructive criticism because some people can be very manipulative in the workplace and in your professional life and in your business, especially if you got partners. We'll be back.
A word to anyone who listens, a soldier's on a mission. From Nova Scotia to the southernmost ocean, I boast for old tradition. While less a man, a comatose and frozen in a Polaroid, I play my own position. A couple times they kicked me out of school, even though I pay my intuition. Even though I pray for better days, cops is locked up in a metal cage. Old Joes with the cornrows, a head of braids on a head of grapes. Chasing greens and that feta cheese, that a meditation to levitate. Some things you can't shortcut, the good word can't be paraphrased. So when you get a stain on your crown from fumbling down, pick it up and brush it off as part of the process. God made us from the dust. It's called favor when stars shine a light on your dark fate to show you love. Even when you feeling low, you got your faith to hold you up. You got true art plus heart that darts can't pierce. Walk game fit. Graduate the block same year. Made a stream out of the same kids. Love lost, same peers. Paid cost, pain heals. Made adjustments to the change is. That's exactly what the king is.
Baby, if you lose your way, it's only to pray away. Your guiding light, your North Star is with you. You are, baby, lose your way. It's only a prayer away. Hold on to your dreams. Remember, you're always been different. Spirit flowing through my ligaments. Thought-provoking type of lyricist. Don't come with no health benefits. I was too good to be good enough. They hated that I made them level up. And I was just looking for a friend. Silly me, silly them with the illy pen. Killing me. What's the lost man's medicine? A red last kind of reckoning. Petty me, petty them. The righteous rose, the only one. The words I told my only son. The weak will fold and come undone. The strong will grow and lead them up. But what you do when no one agrees with you, huh? Can you still speak the truth? With no amens and no cosigns and no praise hands and no poke signs. Everybody do the most now. Trying to prove that they woke, huh? That God give us discernment from the fake prophets and the posers. These days can't tell the same from the profane. All the shit shot the rain, everything for sale. It's a damn shame. I've been woke so long, my eyelids roll. You couldn't know this road I'm on. I pray we make it home. My king, my son, my throne to carry on. Word on my square, wherever I go, I'm right here. Even when they're there, my guiding light shines clear. Lifting me above the crowd. Eagles view above the cloud. Yeah, 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 baby. Lose your way. If you lose your way, it's only only a prayer
put a cross on Jesus' back. They made him crawl till his sneakers was black. Sober. How many people endure that judgment? The steeple is meant to usher the presence of higher power. But the reverend desire showers with 7 verses and hours of heaven. Lustful pleasures, a couple teacups in the essence, enough to keep blood rushing. I fuck with that. I might jump in the bag. I might turn the fridge just so we all function like I treat it like an animal, plus the cameras on steady. Do my damage and then go scramble these panties like Levy. They gon' judge me no matter what I do. So keep my head with a peace sign, give a fuck about you. When I recline, I'm in the feast, I never get enough, I do. I barely even touch my food. We skip the appetizers, I slid inside her. When I'm done, I'm like, what the fuck I do? Now her head's on my sleeve, and my hands on her weave. She wanna stay and parlay and conversate over trees. But now I'm ready to leave, and I'm just wondering where my keys is at. They put a cross on Jesus' back. They made him crawl till his sneakers was black. They put a cross on Jesus' back. They made him crawl till his sneakers was black. One time by the pull up, one time by the pull up. Tell them niggas stop doing pull ups on the stop sign. Assembly line with this Glock 9. Don't toss that, tell her put it in the purse. We did this real life shit, then put it in the verse. The street only asking me, do the bullets really hurt? Can't answer no questions unless you really from the turf. But I can put you on. See your curves from them curves that I swerved up on. Legs so smooth, the type of thighs you sniff a bird up on. Fuck with Summer Walker. No matter how many times we done heard that song, they killing it back. Scoop them kids up with this shirt that's on. Back to the block. When niggas stay active, no drama, Jesus for OE. Out for I lost one to stay elevated like Balenciaga sneakers. And you what the content, Space Jams on, shot it out with monsters. 13 to your back, Tristan Thompson, K-Jam like the chopper had a conscience. Every nigga gotta watch how he moving. Every picture got a nigga next to Judas. Every nigga got his own cross to bear. And that's the reason that they put a cross on Jesus' back. They made him crawl till his niggas was black. They put a cross on Jesus' back. They made him crawl till his niggas was black. This is Jay Sunday service with killers and murderers. Once I heard us coming, don't let them niggas in the church with us.
Welcome back to the Kazual Konvo show with me, Coco, and my guest, Niclole, Miss Uniq of Unique Mills, Unique Fit, and not doing that. Well, that wasn't unique. What's the third one?
Unique Mills, Unique Fit.
And Unique what?
No, it's just Unique LLC.
Right.
It's a brand. It just has different things underneath.
Come on, brand.
I'm sorry.
We just was talking about that. So we left off when we was talking about professionalism, and you asked me a question of who I take criticism from. Right? I couldn't think of it. I told y'all my vitamin D be low. So, all right.
Stop saying it. Don't say
it
that
really
no more.
It's an 8.
What?
Mine is an 8. That affects your memory.
Okay.
I need to stand in the sun a little bit. But anyway, you asked me who do I take criticism from?
Yeah.
I do. I can take it from strangers. I'll take it from, my patients or a certain place. And you asked me, and you said what? I got to hear you ask me so I can ask that right.
Oh, I asked you, do you only take constructive criticism from people that you trust? And you said, no, I take them from anybody. I will take constructive criticism from a stranger. And then you said, you said sometimes constructive criticism can be manipulation, can be considered manipulation, depending on, you went into all of that right before your
When it comes to business, you got to see where the criticism is coming from. Right. Everybody don't have good intentions, and some people want to bring you down, but you will pretty much be aware, and you can see it. And like I say, even now, if you have a partner, or if
Oh, I think
and maybe somebody.
I
am. Or somebody might have
okay.
And if somebody say, okay, this, that, and the third, and you know, some people don't want to see you be successful, so you can usually tell. And I think you gotta differentiate. It's a difference between being manipulative, being negative, and being constructive. Constructive criticism can be like how you do me. You really think you should do it that way? Maybe if you try, but you're giving me an option, or you're explaining to me where I'm going wrong. That's constructive criticism. You're giving me advice. The same way I always ask Rich, what I need to change. He'd be like, well, you know. So to me, that's constructive because you're giving me honesty. You're not like, well, first of all, that's not constructive. Who be talking to you like that? Nobody. Oh, I don't play. No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, Rich, you be on there? Nah, not at all. Okay. He's pretty much even tone. I don't even know if he can get mad. This is the first time I ever hear him say anything. Have a whole conversation. Oh, he be talking off. He shouldn't be listening. No, she said, you just don't know. Girl, Rich be talking. Yeah. We be on the phone for I don't know how many hours, and it's like, but it's like, I ain't never heard him say that. But it's good, like how we talked about earlier is adaptability and somebody being teachable and willing to learn. You can't take constructive criticism if you're not willing to adapt and learn and grow. Part of all of that, and even in your professional life, growth is everything. What we put on applications when you ready to leave? No room for growth. Yeah, but it be for real though. Like, right. People, you can't say it. You can't grow if you can't learn. If you can't adapt. Let me tell you something. Cool.
I say something on that.
Please. Oh, I feel like.
Would y'all stay at a job where
you go.
You're getting paid good money, but it's no room for growth? One, you're not challenged. The job is so easy. Like, you can literally just sit there. You can literally fall asleep at work and get paid. Would you stay there?
No.
Why?
Me personally, I like to feel like that the job is rewarding. Not saying monetarily, but part of like what I do, I like to get the feedback of the thank you, or that somebody feels better, or you just never know if you make somebody. To me, that's rewarding. I also like to be busy. If I'm just sitting there, I'm wasting time. I don't like to waste time.
Right.
You can't get that time. Is something you can't get back once it's gone. So why would I waste my time somewhere?
That's real.
Give me on point. Why would I waste my time somewhere and it's just like, it's not worth it. I don't care if it's $1 million. If I'm just sitting there, I can be doing something else, even if it's not $1 million, but I want something that's beneficial that I'm going to feel good about. And that's why I say a lot of times we get caught up in the money.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about what you're doing? And that's why I say people quick to be like, oh, I'm going to do that because they think it's lucrative. But at the end of the day, okay, but how do you feel?
Right.
You tired. You're not going to commit to something that you're not feeling rewarded from.
Right.
And that's why you see so many people that have a business and they got a different one, because that when they work, they're not committed. They're not getting anything.
Bag, really.
Right. And everything don't always come with the bag that you want.
I think loving what you do, it kind of like outweighs the money, because the money gonna come with the love for what you do. In my opinion.
Yeah, I always say we had this conversation. Actually, me, her, Tiff, and Jay. Sometimes we get caught up. What did I say? I said,
Wait, what are you talking about?
We was talking about getting caught up in the bag. Oh, when it's your time. I said sometimes you gotta go through that tough spot to get to a certain level that you want to be. And my thing
say that
is,
again.
When it comes to being,
say that one more time, because I'm gonna keep this on my page. Say that one. You do that what?
You gotta go through it to get the way you want to be. And I've even had that conversation when we first started. Like, yeah, you might spend, you might lose. but I'm never, and that's why I say sometimes when we being professional and when you said constructive criticism, some people will try to tear you down instead of lifting you up to your business. But when it's your time to come, it's gonna come. And when it's your time to have that money, it's gonna come. But you can't rush it to come.
No.
When it's that time and you work hard, it's gonna come. But I'm not gonna set nobody else back by being negative and manipulatory because I'm like, I don't want to see you go nowhere, and we do that.
Well, so, why do you feel like that? I mean, why do you feel like people do that? Because they don't want to see you go nowhere. Like, I feel like if a person thinks like that in their mind, something ain't right. Like, who would be connected to you to be like, oh, they were my Coco. Who would sit and be like, I'm connected to you. I don't want to see you go to the next level. Oh, I don't like this.
Sometimes
I'm jealous.
Closest to you.
I'm
trying to think. Sometimes it's the people. Sometimes it's the people.
I must be blind all day.
It could be friends, family, anybody that's close to you that don't want to see you be successful. Because some people, because they're stagnant, they don't want to see your growth, and they don't want to see you have more than them. You have people out there that's that selfish that they will tear you down because they don't want to see you excel. Mm-hmm. Just like we was talking about, like say somebody works for you, and I wanted to go into this. Unprofessionalism. Mm-hmm. Some people will try to persuade you to be unprofessional, and I feel like
they be trying to take you down.
No, you have some people that will give you the advice where you're being unprofessional. So that goes back to communication. If you don't completely hear the thought, you can't give the answer.
Right.
If you get cut off and somebody give you an answer without listening to understand you, they're giving you the wrong information for you to fail. You get what I mean? So to me, that then you will start to display and have unprofessional behavior. You won't meet expectations.
Right.
With that. So how do you address the unprofessionalism?
Hi, Mom.
Like the how do you approach the conversation?
What do you mean?
So if you have somebody working for you, or working with you, and they're unprofessional. As we stated, they could be rude, not knowing how to talk to people, just ignorant. Like how you said, using certain terms, verbiage,
right?
Communication that's bad. How do you approach it?
Well, first of all, you don't feed into it, because all it's going to do is take you to another level. Look, there go my mom. You don't. I mean, when you're dealing with the professional world, you have to stay professional at all times. Like, you cannot let other people's rudeness, their disrespect get to you, because it's not you that's the problem. It's something else that's probably not even dealing with you or relating to you that caused them to want to be rude or just mean. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know if I haven't done nothing to you, and I know for a fact that I don't carry you that way, and you come off at me like that, that ain't me. I ain't do nothing.
But is that acceptable?
It's not acceptable, but you can't be responsible. You can't tell a person. Like, it's either you can walk away from the conversation or walk away from them if they're being like that, but you can't be like it's your child and be like, you gonna do this or you gonna do that, because they have every option to be like, you're right, okay. If they care about you, they be like, okay, I won't talk to you like that.
But this is your business.
It is. So I have every right to be like, no, I will not do business with you no more because you're rude. I just don't like to be.
But how do you approach it? Like, what's your first approach? Like, how do you approach? Because I think when it comes to unprofessional people in the work environment, how you approach it, it also says a lot about you.
Yep.
And how you lead. Because when you're in business and with anything that you do, even if you're under somebody, how you respond, how you approach, it says a lot about your abilities to lead. So if a person does that and then you like, well, look, you done fed into it and became, you done dropped down a couple of notches. So how do you approach it and keep it and maintain your professionalism in that conversation? Because that's part of being a leader. You got to always stay in that. That's who you are. That's your role.
Well, you just got to, for me, I mean, it ain't even really it's not even all about the money. I would rather let that contract or that money go.
No, but how do you approach it? I mean, how do you have that conversation?
Hello, how are you?
You have to find me.
But at this moment in time, I've observed you. I've watched you.
Is you about to fire me, though?
I watched your behavior.
But are you
You're going to listen.
I'm about to get fired.
And I'm sorry. I'm going to have to let you go because that behavior is unacceptable.
That's and you be like, what?
Oh, no, look, my mom spoke.
Right? But I agree. What do you do when they become angry like that? Because, some people don't take getting fired wrong. I agree. You always got to be the bigger person, especially when it's being... But what do you do? Let me ask this question. I think even when you address it, consequences of actions and behaviors is important to discuss. But for me, I think that should be discussed in the beginning before a person even works with you, for you, or anything. Consequences of unprofessional behavior, as far as like attitude, gossiping, being held accountable for mistakes and things like that should be addressed or spoken on in the beginning. But how would you want, if you were being unprofessional, or let's say, like most of us, we all have jobs outside of what we do, as Niclole would say, residual. And your employer came at you sideways and was not being professional. How would you address that situation? Because I believe, me personally, and I'm like this, I can account for when I'm wrong, but regardless of who I work for, I'm never going to be disrespected. I don't come to work to be disrespected. So the same level of respect that you want, I want the same respect. Now, if you coming at me sideways, whoa, we're not going to do this right now. Can we revisit this conversation? And I had that right. Especially, I don't care if you could be my supervisor. And you can't get loud with the person off the break and then expect for somebody to receive it. That's not how people receive information.
Right.
So I think sometimes, even when we get into these I'm the boss and I'm this type situations, we think we can talk to people any kind of way.
Right.
And that's not the case. So how would you want somebody, if they felt like you were being unprofessional, to talk to you?
I will want them to let me know. Like, pull me to the side. Let's have a conversation one-on-one. And
what would you want them to say to you? Like, how would you want them to address you?
Niclole, I felt like on X, Y, and Z that you were being a little unprofessional by X, Y, and Z, and da 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 da.
And what was your response?
If I'm hearing it and I know that it's unprofessional, I have to take accountability for it. I apologize. That you had to have that type of experience from me as a business owner. And I will make sure that does not happen again. I'm sorry that I offended you in any kind of way. I have to own it. That's how you really know you care about people, when you allow something like that to happen for growth for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes we don't always recognize our tone in the moment, or if we even offended somebody, just because it wouldn't affect us in that way, that doesn't mean that it won't affect somebody else.
Do you think the owner / employer / whoever, administrator, manager is always correct? She got to go. Oh, security. Security! But do you think they always correct? Or they always have the final say?
What, the employer?
Mm-hmm. Or you as the owner? Do you take, not to take criticism, I think when it comes to being in leadership, listening to people who work with you, I don't even like to say under you. I like to say with you because it takes a team to make anything run. What I would say is,
I'm sorry, that's my phone.
Turn it down, cause she distracted, and I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Sorry. So,
I just want everybody to know that I can be fun too. I'm not always bougie.
Who told you that?
What? That I'm always
yeah, who told you that?
Nobody.
Okay. So back to the question.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to you have to be. I think you should listen to the people who work with you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that's important, non-important, or it doesn't matter? That's what I mean when I say the final say so, because it could be, let's say you had maybe 20 employees, right? And they all came to you with suggestions, ideas. How seriously do you take those?
Very serious. Because that's growth. I mean, especially if they're you said the key word, with you.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody is always with you. You understand what I'm saying? Some people can just be there, but when somebody's with you and they're there as far as
what do you think about if
I don't have a problem with somebody telling me about myself?
What's your thought on the employer or owner? You know, it could be an organization or a small business who won't listen to the people who work with them, and that's actually keeping everything going.
That's not right. I think we should be able to listen. There's nothing wrong with that.
Why?
Because you should be able to listen on. Just because you listening and everybody has their own opinion, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, what you get out of what they give you, you may take certain parts of it. You understand what I'm saying? And be like, okay, I can see that. Mm-hmm. I can't see that though, but I can see that. And allow yourself to make some changes when dealing with certain people. I mean, I don't know. I take it from all angles. It all depends on how it's being addressed, and then it depends on who the person is. If you just one of them negative people all the time, I don't know.
It may not be negative. I mean, I'm not just saying that. I mean, I look at it like the people you work with, everybody can learn from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say, as far as like coming to you,
mm-hmm.
let's say you made a pitch something or said, I want this X, Y, and Z done.
Right.
And the person under you may say, or that work with you may say, well, no, because, and they may have a valid reason why maybe not to do that.
Right.
And would you discredit what you said?
Probably. I mean, I know who I am. I don't know, yeah, that's a good one.
I would listen.
I mean, I don't have a problem with listening, but
no, I would probably. I believe in. See, when it comes to being a leader, you gotta understand. Sometimes the people who work with you to help you grow, they could be knowledgeable in areas that you may not be, and you can always learn from different things, and it may be beneficial to your business. So I think that's another thing of being able to be open,
right,
and compromise. So I believe in it's nothing wrong with a trial period.
Okay.
Of a suggestion, just to see, especially if it makes sense. If it makes sense, why not? Or because sometimes we get in these roles, or we get in these these roles, and won't accept anything from somebody, which I don't think is fair. But unprofessional attitudes. What would you consider negative attitude? A tone? No, I don't like tone. You know what I don't like? I know we say this all the time, and everybody get mad. Like everybody be like, support certain businesses, small businesses. How you treat me when I walk in the door plays a part.
Yeah.
What you allow and how you allow the people you work with to treat your customers or clients says a lot if I'm going to spend my money in your business. There's no way I should walk in and you mad because you got to work. Or you don't greet me. When I walk in, hello.
That's people's high expectation.
You think that's a high expectation?
No, I don't, but some people feel like it is. They have to be recognized. That's too high of an expectation.
Oh, you're supposed to. If you walk into a business and if it's your business and say you have like a store, how many times, I know me, I walk back out. I look at it like this: you don't want me to spend my money. You're supposed to make me feel welcome. The better somebody
you said
feels.
In a workplace. I thought you meant like when you walk into your job and people want you to acknowledge them or recognize them.
Oh no,
in a certain way. That's what I meant as far as even
that. Oh, even with that, I feel
we all know who that is.
I'm gonna say it's a Tierra. It's a Tierra. Jude.
What's going on, Jude? Hi.
Hi, y'all.
Thank you for calling in.
Whatever. Look, wait a minute. No.
Oh, wow.
What you say? Because I had to call for Niclole, because she just said it was a high expectation for, people to expect you to speak to you. No, baby. That's part of
No, that's not what I said. I cleared it up. I said what I thought she was saying was a high expectation on how a person should. I thought she was talking about her job, because we had these conversations about her job where people expect her to greet them in a certain way. No. We were talking about her job.
No, but they should though. I mean, when you walk in, I'm supposed to be like, "Good morning."
I meant your coworkers. You know who I'm
them too.
Because they expect you to be a certain way all the time. But I feel like if you greeted them the way you greeted them when you came in, it shouldn't be no extraness to it if you don't feel like it. You understand? Like the high expectation. Like you have your days. So if you go in there and be like, "Hey girl," but if you come in and you be like, "Hey, how y'all doing?" and you keep it moving, and
I apologize.
Right, but if that's the high expectation of you, but the fact that you spoke should be just good enough.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
That's what I meant.
The fact, but what I don't like is that a lot of people don't even do that. And I feel whenever you enter a room, you should speak. I don't feel like when you're entering a room, depending on the situation, when you're entering a business, yes, the person who is ready to provide the service to you, yes, they should speak first. But when you do enter a room just out of just courtesy, period, a lot of people don't do a simple thing as in to greet or speak. When you're entering a room full of people in general, they'll just walk in and won't even say anything. That's part of professionalism too, like whether you're at work or anywhere else, like it's just common courtesy. So I think with that, also, like using your professionalism, you gotta like dig into like your home training and your common courtesy a little bit too, because it all starts at home. Me personally, I hate when people don't use their professionalism when they're at work. Good customer service. Like I can call your business and you can, if it's within driving distance, I will drive to your business and tell you that you have poor customer service. Or actually, if you I try. I don't. I will do that.
We know.
I try to order pizza. Because I took classes on stuff like that, and I mean, think about it. When I'm at work, I try to treat everybody with respect. I mean, I can be a little hood, a little ghetto, a little rude sometimes, all that. But when it comes down to like me, I never treat a patient wrong. I don't talk down to them or at them. I always greet them and speak to them as if they're a human being. I don't care what kind of day I had with my coworkers. My patients will never know that. Some people don't know how to do that.
Okay. I was going to say that too. Yeah. I think, but as far as, not to cut you off, I think as far as having high expectations, I think it's necessary. You should have high expectations regardless of what kind of day you have. And like I said, even if I'm having a bad day and my good morning is off, I do apologize. I'm having a bad day, you know, X, Y, and Z, and I may say to myself, but that's not the fault of the people I work with, and it's not the fault of the patients that I serve. Even if I'm having a bad day and I come in here, or somebody asks me about a pain or something like that, I can't have no attitude because I'm having a bad. They should have high expectations, and I need to meet them because that's going to keep me on my grind. I'm not going. Nobody should have lower expectations when it comes to how professional they are.
That's not. I think I'm saying it wrong because I feel like everybody is who they are. You as long as you give the courtesy of acknowledging someone is in your space, or you're walking into somebody else's space, or someone is close to you and you do speak, that is good enough. But to expect a certain type of greeting all the time, to me, is too high. Because if you walk up into, seriously, if you be like, girl, but today you just don't feel well, and you walk in and you just like, hey, how y'all doing? I'm just not really feeling well. And they just feel some kind of way. That's too high of an expectation of somebody to feel like you have to greet them like that all the time, as in to say like you're not allowed to come down a little bit. But I did acknowledge you. I did say hello. I was respectful, but because I wasn't just overly excited at the moment, that's too high of an expectation of somebody.
So let me ask you this with that. I'm going to ask both of y'all real quick. So if you walk into somewhere and they be like, hi, or, because that's what I'm talking about. That's why I said that because if somebody come in, morning, okay, good morning. Okay, good morning. Would you walk back in there?
Probably not.
See, that's where I be coming from. It's not because that one time can turn somebody off, and that's a loss.
You know what I'm learning though? You know what I'm learning, because some days I walk into places and may not have a good mood, not even necessarily work. You know, like I might walk into a business not having a good day. No bullcrap. Sometimes at work, I may be bubbly, I may not be bubbly. I may walk into a business, bubbly. I may not be bubbly. Depending on if the person know me, certain people will take it personal. Certain people will say, "Are you okay today?" I cannot control how you take. I'm having a bad day. That don't mean you gotta have a bad day. But it also don't mean, just because I don't feel like being bothered, don't mean that I'm taking it out on you. I could, just like Niclole said, I do agree with that part of the high expectation. But I'm not gonna apologize because you took, something the wrong way. I did speak. Not speaking was rude. Speaking would have been rude. But I did speak. You may have taken it a wrong way, but that's how you took it. It's not my fault that you took it that way.
Well, what I'm saying, okay, let me explain. I agree with that part.
Hey, Shawnee.
But at what point? I'm not saying you're responsible for how somebody receive it. We've all been into an establishment. That's what I'm speaking on. Because normally, you would say to yourself, I would say to myself, yes, we all have bad days, but the thing is, you greet the person. You get what I'm saying?
I was talking about a coworker. I wasn't talking about like a person that's coming into your establishment. I do believe that you have a bad day.
And yes, and that good morning is dry. That energy is everything. If your energy is draining, who wants to keep coming back into that? That one day, and sometimes we do when it comes to professionalism, you got to push that back. We can't always do it. We are human. But at the end of the day, you're still offering a service.
But I do believe that we take on too much. That's too much of a a thing to worry about how a person may receive something. If you are respectful, I feel like if you are very respectful, then that should be good enough.
So
but
that good morning dry, is that still respectful?
Well, what's considered dry to you?
Hear me out.
Yeah.
How many times have we walked into it can be determined anyway, but how many times have you walked into a business and it's they might delay it and then you like, let me know if y'all need anything. And they in their mind, they having a bad day too. You get what I'm saying? But the energy, would you spend your money? That's dry. Or they morning, that's half-assed.
That's too much of a way for me to worry about how I.
No, you've done it.
How to receive. But that's the growth in me now, though. That's the difference.
Hear me out. We've been to places, and if the person may be like, "How y'all doing? What y'all need?" And the first thing you go is, "Do we want to stay here?"
You're right.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm talking about. That energy, but that person, if we want to say having a bad day is human, which it is, the energy that you give can determine if that person comes back to your business. That it can determine if that person even wants to get up and leave or walk out. You just lost somebody. So sometimes we do have to check our attitudes and the energy that we give when you want people to spend their money and be a loyal customer. Because guess what? Your energy for that one time, you could be bubbly. All it takes is one bad experience.
Right.
And then that person will go and run their mouth. And that spreads quicker than the positive.
Yeah, it does. People like to dwell on negativity.
But we got to do self-checks of what we expect professionally and what we give professionally.
I agree.
You can't separate it, and you can't just do that.
How do you deal with a person that you don't like?
I feel like when you wake up in the morning, even if you're having a bad day.
Okay, go ahead, Jude.
Oh no, like even if you're having a bad day, like and you know, like you going to work. We're gonna use the work right now. Like you're having a bad day, and you gonna be because you know I'm a misread person a lot. If I'm quiet, I'm misread. If I'm loud, I'm misread. You feel me? Like so, sometimes it really don't matter. But what I've learned, and like the word Nicole uses growth, because growth is a thing. With my growth, I learned I'm not going to sit up here and worry about how people take how people take me. You feel me? Like if I don't feel like speaking today, I don't feel like speaking today. As long as I'm working, I'm working. As long as I'm doing my job and getting the job done, I don't care. It don't necessarily mean that I'm in a bad mood. It don't necessarily mean if my coworker come to work and you're not speaking all day. If I care enough, I'm gonna ask, what's wrong with you? I'm not gonna sit there, she got an attitude. So what's wrong with her? If I care enough, I'm gonna ask, what's wrong with you?
That's when you.
And if you want to tell me, you're going to tell me. If not, oh well. But what I'm not going to do is keep pressuring you all day and keep getting on your nerves and adding to whatever is bothering you.
No, I agree 100% with that. My thing is when somebody walks in, yes, you speak. I don't have to talk to you all day because sometimes I get in my zone where I'm being productive and I do want to be left alone because I'm being productive and I want to work. No, dead serious. So then that's when you respect the space of the person. And like it's one thing, like I said, if somebody walks in, you speak, you want to be greeted, right? That doesn't mean I gotta follow you around and talk to you because sometimes I don't want to talk like that. You get what I mean? But the simple fact of that initial first meeting, regardless of how many times you see a person, that says a lot. That sets the tone.
Can I say something? Now that we speak on that level, but when you're in leadership, you cannot. You like I don't care what bothers you or what's going on with you at that moment. You have to deliver a certain type of energy, like you just said, like because you're. But that's when I say leadership. But now like leadership is different.
Rich got asked that question because that's the perfect question for that situation. Because remember, we all on leadership. And we got like 2 minutes and we're gonna let you go. But we're gonna be talking about, keep in mind the leadership thing, and like you said, regardless of what, the energy, right? Now what's your question, Rich?
My question was basically if you have somebody that you don't personally like this person, but they want to do business with you, how do you handle that? How do you handle somebody that you had a disagreement with in the past, and you got to put on your business, your professional hat in that situation? How do you deal with somebody in that situation?
How do they do business first? Service. No, but how do they do business first?
Yeah, how do you do business with somebody?
No, but I mean, what is your experience with that before I answer?
He said personally.
No, but I'm asking how are they as far as business? It's a difference. I don't have to like you personally, but some people are great when it comes to business.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the difference there. So that's why I was saying it depends. Now, if they were great at business, right, and we can just stick to after the business is done, right, we like this.
But not even that. It's like maybe they want to buy something from you or they want to do business deal with you, but you don't personally like that person. Are you going to be big enough to get the deal done?
Yes.
Even though you don't like that person.
Let me tell you
why? Because it could be a life-changing situation for them.
Right.
Based on your interaction with them could change something about how you guys could have reacted personally. See, now how you interact with them business, they see another side of you.
Right.
Even though not really, because you're still yourself personally, but because you allowed them to have personal access to you at one point in time, so they don't like you for that. Now you're on a different level.
Yeah.
It could check some things on the inside of them. Like, I feel like interactions are experiences. That could be an experience for them. It ain't even if you don't get nothing out of the business deal, it's still an experience. And it may not have nothing to do with you. It just may have something to do with them. That's at that time. Timing is everything.
I can relate. Right. I can relate because a lot of people don't. You gotta be mature to do business anyway. Yeah. Sometimes I'm gonna speak personally. A lot of people don't like me, right? No, these are. I'm for real. I'm being 100% honest. A lot of people don't like me, but one thing, and I say this, and y'all can hear, and I know all y'all heard me say this about a person a lot. I may not like you, but I will never take away your work ethic. I will never take away how you are professionally. I may not like you, and some people feel that way about me, but you can't take away my skills because I know where I'm a beast at and what I'm not. I know when to fall back and when not to. So when it comes to professional, it has nothing to do. We work with people every day we don't like, but at the end of the day, there's still a professional respect and courtesy that you got to know where to draw the line. And that's where people, I think, sometimes we get it misconstrued. We try to mix personal and professional too much, and then that's where the problems come in at. And you may lose out on great opportunities because you worrying about your personal feelings and being emotional, and now the business is affected. No, push that to the side. Come on, let's get what you got going on. All right, we're gonna talk about that. That personal stuff is out the door. Let's get to the business. Right. And sometimes it could be an elevation move.
Yeah, I'm about to say the same thing. I don't let personal stuff interfere with my business. Coco will tell you my motto at work is I don't care how cool we are outside of work, at work is work. I don't have no
Can I ask a question?
And people have gotten offended by that. I have tried to work with an enemy. If it works, if I like your work ethic, I will work with you. I will sell you stuff. I will make personal stuff. I don't care. But if you suck and you making my business fold or you're not helping me prosper, I don't have no problem with cutting it off either. Like Coco said, you gotta know how to draw that line. Don't let nobody come and sing your business. Sometimes your enemy be your biggest supporter, and I've also learned that too.
I was asked this question before, and I want to ask. I definitely want to ask you.
All right, we gotta let you go. Oh, all right. I'm sorry, Drew. Bye, Drew. Thank you for calling, Drew.
I answer it on the text. Bye, Pisces represent.
Girl, get up. Hang up on her, please. Thank you. We gotta be faster than that next time.
So we're talking about professionalism, and I've had this conversation with Chanel before and some other people. It was, and tell me how you guys will act, because I act a certain way too. Just because somebody expressed their personal feelings about, wait a minute, the person you've never allowed the person to have personal access to you. You know what personal access, right? Allowed to get to know you on a personal level. I'll say it like that. But because they've done business with you, they've developed some type of feeling, like they find you attractive. Can you still be professional and do business with them? Me, yes, I can. If you create boundaries if you set the tone, you know, some people will set the tone and they will have some type of speculation. But if they come to you and say, oh, well, you know, I find you interesting or whatever, and I really think I like you or whatever, and you shut it down right there, and you create the boundaries, and the boundaries is respected, can you still do business with them? Like, you can't stop a person from finding you attractive.
I would say with that, in order to create boundaries, you got to have a conversation. Right. It has to be communicated that this is the line, but also you also have to take accountability for your actions as well, not to lead the person on.
Correct.
And be flirtatious or certain things of what's drawn to them. But it definitely has to be a conversation that's received on both ends, because if that person has these feelings for you, it may be okay. You may want to continue the business, but if this person is already saying, "I want you," you know what I mean? Right. It's no way.
But what do you want?
It don't matter. If that person is attracted to you, it's already a glitch in the system. You can't tell somebody to turn off how they feel.
You can't.
You get what I mean?
You cannot.
You got to have that conversation, and you got to communicate. Like you said, once you have that conversation and you set those boundaries, if they don't get it, then you can't do business with that person.
Right.
You can't do it because it's going to jeopardize the business at some point.
Sliding little small talk.
Right.
See, my thing is, and I'm saying this because I've had these situations, and you know I've had these situations where people will use the interest of my services for my business just to try to get to know me or gain some type of personal access because they find me attractive physically, okay? Physical attraction. All right, wow, cool. But at the end of the day, I haven't given you any real reason to say, to know that I'm in, you know, that I feel the same way. Right. Now, when that does happen, now, because growth is here, because I cut you off, be like, oh, never mind, you won't get that service. But now it's like I have to have that conversation. Once the conversation has been had and you understand, number one, I don't mix business with pleasure. Number two, I'm sorry, I don't like you in that way. And then things are understood and respected. I will pay close attention to our next move. Right. As far as business, if it's a business partner, you understand what I'm saying? And if business continue to go well, then I will continue to do business with them because now they understand. But you can't stop a person from finding you attractive because people don't understand, like certain things, like the things that she do, school, business, work, or whatever. Men like that. You are attractive, but they like that. They want that, but then they want to be able to do work with you too. Then what do you do? That's just my question to you. I gave my answer. I know what I did.
For me, I'm going to say this. Sometimes we can flirt without knowing. And that's why I said we have to be mindful of our behaviors as well. Right. So when we say, I haven't done anything, you could have smiled. You could have, it may be something.
It's a physical attraction.
I mean,
or some people just like the way you
move. People
be
fine every day, but that don't mean I want to talk to you. You get what I'm saying? Unless usually if it's a vibe and they think they can and it's still going, it's some type of energy. Unless they just psychotic and you know crazy. But it's some kind of energy. But you can't. Some people, because they still want to be around you, that's when you have to really make that decision and say, I can't do this. Once a person displays they are attracted to you in that way, that is not turned off. They're probably still trying to work with you because they're other attraction. It's not about the business. And then sometimes you gotta be careful. That's a fine line because when you continue it, it's almost like you accepting it too. Right. And like you said, that's still like giving a chance.
Because then that feelings can kind of jeopardize the business. It can interfere with their decision making in the business. If you give them a responsibility.
I've had that. Yeah. You know what? That's funny because I've had that, and I had to literally let go of a business partner because of that, because I found out that he liked me or whatever. But I mean, after all of these years, see, Chanel say I ignore a lot of stuff, but to me, it was just like, business was going good. You get what I'm saying? And then when that came up, it kind of was like, oh no, like you about to interfere with.
But you know,
and it made me think about all other business opportunities. Was like, well, did you do that because?
Yes.
So now I have to dismiss
all
myself.
Ain't good business.
And that's why you should always set yourself up for just in case you got to let go of a business partner that you can stand on your own. Like, you understand? Because they feel like sometimes they will feel like doing that. And then you still working with them, they'll feel like, oh, well, she going work with me anyway because she can't stand on her own. But see, what they don't know is, you know how you take that little percentage and you start sacrificing? See, I'm putting that to the side just in case I got to stand on my own.
But that's the thing, I think, especially with...
I'm going to start looking like a bum. So
no. It's not about looking like... No, I think it's like I said, again, conversations got to be had in the beginning. You usually know. But the thing is, the longer you keep a person around after they're already interested, you don't know if the feeling's going to grow. You don't know how they're going to act. You don't know what's going to happen. So it's like you're always on that fence. Anything that you do is going to be flirtatious to them because the attraction is right there. And I'm affirming, all business ain't good business. Sometimes you got to say no. It can be $1 million on the table. But if something ain't right and it's something that's not, no, you might gotta let that go.
I've done a couple of things. Like I've gotten a couple clients and was pumped. You get what I'm saying? Because when you in business, like you're not thinking about who likes you like that. Like you're so excited about performing a service for somebody. Like I'm not.
Just I pay attention.
I cut, and then that's why you always go with me because she can sense that because I get in a zone where I'm just so excited. I'm just ready to perform a service. And I mean, I've had several clients, haven't I, where I will take the money, sign a contract or whatever. And when it's time to deliver food or give them a food, all they want to do is
be in your face.
Be in my face.
But
and I'll be so mad because they was like, got it.
But that's why when they say, I'm gonna say this before we go. You always gotta be aware of what you're doing and paying attention to everything. Sometimes you can't focus on the money. Now, when you start focusing and just having that right there, you're not paying attention to the signs and everything that's going on around you.
Yeah.
So you still got to be mindful, but you also still got to be accountable for the situations you put yourself in when it comes to business. So, but we're gonna have to do this one again. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean this one was good.
So, but yeah, we gotta be mindful, gotta be respectful. Always pay attention to how you carry yourself, how you speak to people, how you treat people. All matters in how you do business. If people want to do business with you, people want to support your business. How just everything plays a part. And I'm gonna thank Miss Niclole, Miss Uniq. Can you tell them where they can find you for these good? Even if you want to gain weight, hit up.
Or you want to join the challenge with me? I'm always doing some type of challenge. I'm sorry, I be wanting people to join with me, because I believe in testing out things on my body, on myself first before I deliver a service. You understand what I'm saying? So
sometimes you gotta have a pastor. Yeah. But anywho, what's your contact?
It's uniq_LLC, or you can always DM me. You can email me at uniqmillsllc@gmail.com. Click the link in my bio, however you want to hit me up. But just know that this is just not about food or fitness. This is definitely a journey. So if you're serious about your journey or you want to even learn about the journey, just hit me up. I mean, it's not going to always be about weight gain, lost weight. It's about the mind.
All right. Speaking of minds, the Food Conscious Tour
is coming up, and I'm going to be there, y'all. I'm so excited.
Nicole's going to be there. All the local hand radio fame going to be there.
Definitely. I'm excited, man. I'm so excited about what's
I'm going to be there in spirit. It's like, no, I'm coming.
Yes, I'm excited. Oh,
I'm coming.
This date is my launch date of Unique Meals again. I'm sorry, you guys. The relaunch, because I'm coming up on 2.5 years, and see, COVID couldn't shut me completely down. So that pandemic definitely had me plan myself and literally bring Unique Meals to another level. So July 31st is my relaunch. I'm definitely going to be at this third annual Conscious Tour. I'm excited about, what's coming, just to do new things with food for real. July 31st. Yay. 2 to 5 p.m. Yes. If you're interested in participating or being a vendor, please contact 410-598-4242. Again, we are still accepting vendors. Look, I'm all like we. If you want to be a vendor, if you have a product you want to put out there, or even if you have some nutritional things that you have to offer, please contact 410-598-4242. Again, that's the Food Conscious Tour, July 31st, presented by Ham Radio at 219 Collins Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21229. Yay. That's so y'all can put it in y'all thing and get the directions there, and it's free. So come on out. And also, another big thing that's coming up is Extended Hand Program. Kids from in grades the 4th grade through 12th grade, free hand radio. Free radio training. It's a 6-week program from July to August. It includes field trips, snacks provided if you're interested. Also, if you have children who ain't doing nothing, out of school, whatever, if they're in the 4th grade all the way up to the 12th grade, you can call this number, 410-598-4242. You never know, your child probably be helping out up in here, and you get to, talk to them and all of that good stuff and see them work. Great. But you can also follow me on IG, Kazual Konvo Coco, also on Facebook, and soon Clubhouse. Yay! So I'm excited about that. So, yeah, we're going to see you guys. Thank you for watching. And if you haven't done so, download the Ham Radio app on any mobile device. Listen to it and check out all the good shows. And we're going to see you guys next week at 8 o'clock.